Part 7. An hour or so later, they eventually get cell service. By now, Marcus has fumbled his way through his wallet for one of his miracle contacts. He knew this was a one-time only use, and he had better talk pretty quickly. Nervousness didn't set in until he began to dial the number. Suck that shit up, pussy, he thought to himself. His call was to the top attorney in Las Vegas on his personal cell phone. Surprisingly, he answered on a Sunday. Marcus, without identifying himself, thanked him for answering and spoke directly, with adding the magic words, "I have cash," and "meet ASAP." It was enough to keep the man on the phone, so he let him continue. Marcus relayed the entire story of the previous night to the best of his ability, correcting any little details the attorney may have seen on the news. Somewhat surprisingly, the attorney agreed to meet with him discreetly, so Marcus chose Lake Mead, near the entrance of the park and trails. Marcus knew this was one of the few places around Vegas with few people and no cameras for miles. They agreed to meet at 3 p.m., giving them plenty of time. Once they reached Kingsman, Arizona, Marcus pulled them into a car rental location and got a mid-class sedan in his name. He got the rental for a week and told Gabby to follow him out once they gave him the keys. As he drove down the street, Marcus was relieved that now he'd made a tracking beacon for anyone at this point. Good. It doesn't matter if or when his name is released on the news, or whoever has an idea of where to start looking. He found a hotel right on Main Street in this small town part hub for truckers, and parked in the back of it, which wrapped around the back of the property. Right now, Gabby is still safe, so her part now is the most important. Marcus goes over the plan once more with her. After this, who knows when they would see each other again, or if. She knew to contact her friend at work that had recently moved to Arkansas. They knew she had a storage unit, and they needed her to open a new one. Now. Today. And they were paying for it. He told Gabby to offer more as an incentive if she felt it would be needed. Gabby walked away from the cars and called her friend Tonya, and after a few minutes, came back to Marcus with the update. She said she'll go down and she'll do it right now, since they close at 5 on Sundays, and she may have to sign paperwork. Gabby laughed. I told her I'm trying to get rid of all of your junk while you're out of town. Gabby cut her eye at Marcus and that smile slowly faded, confirming her friend didn't watch any of the news today, of course. This was great, since they were both an hour or more from Vegas and it wasn't even 1 o'clock. Gabby said they agreed to meet at her storage at 3 p.m. and that she already had the address mapped out on her phone. With the Louis bag in Gabby's trunk, Marcus took another $100,000 out of his backpack, leaving him $70,000 for him to communicate with. He tucked away the money under the passenger seat of the car. Once secured, he reminded her to go to a hardware store and get the best possible lock they have. She acknowledged. Well, I guess this is it for a second, babe. Are you good? Marcus asked. Gabby smiled reassuringly. I'm better than good, baby. See you soon. Be safe. Okay? I've got this. This is where they part company. He hugged her tightly and they kissed, exchanging a look that needed no words. Marcus promises again that everything would be fine by tonight. He was and has been a man of his word, and her smile was all the affirmation he needed to believe it himself. He watched Gabby head down the road they came in until he couldn't see her anymore. Then he made his way to the highway towards Lake Mead. Marcus got to the area around 2 p.m. and decided to drive around the surrounding neighborhoods, enjoying the back roads. It's not like I can go inside a store, he thought to himself, although as he passed each fast food joint, the smell alone begged him to risk it. Around 2:30, he parked at Lake Mead at the Welcome Center, waiting for his super lawyer. Marcus used the porta potty on the way out. A sleek Mercedes parked beside his rental. Out comes the #1 attorney in Las Vegas. A short, but not diminutive, middle-aged European man. He would quickly learn his assumption was correct. However, his attorney was more than European. He was Italian. Marcus recapped the facts, telling him there is no $1 million, this is a setup, lies, etc. Marcus could feel himself beginning to sweat underneath his armpits and hands. It was like an interrogation he was performing on himself. Sadly for Marcus and his anxiety, the attorney didn't care for the story at all and treated it all as complete bullshit. Marcus, I just have one question and you know what that is. Did you cheat at all in any way possible? Look, I couldn't give 2 shits with 3 assholes, but as your attorney, I have to know the whole story. The real one, no matter what. He was blunt, and Marcus told him the truth. No. The attorney smiled slightly and said with his thick Italian accent, I do believe you didn't do anything wrong. But not for nothing. A black guy isn't going to take that kind of money anyways, am I right? Just waltz your black ass out with $1 million, am I right? He laughed, giving Marcus a slight slap on the arm. Marcus knew he was right, but still, he was an asshole to say it, especially that calloused. But the attorney understood completely and told Marcus he has nothing to worry about. Marcus already knew his retainer would be at least $25,000, so he gave him $30,000 instead. The attorney smiled, took the cash, and went back to his car for paperwork. Marcus took this time to call Gabby from the burner, and to his surprise, that's a good stopping point for me. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to go to www.didyoubuy.thebook.com. Remember, for just $7 a day, you can feed a 38-year-old African-American child. Cheers!